I got a present. Very excited about this one. I noticed something when I picked up the package right in front of my door. Oh yeah, right here. So the package has been opened. So I don't know. You see that? There's a piece of this Freewing tape, and then there's some clear tape on top of it. You can clearly see the edge of the clear tape right there. So somebody opened this and close it. I pointed out this thing, something I noticed on another plane. So the reason why it was apparent on the plane that I was talking about originally was because the way the ESC came packaged, it's almost like whatever company it is, because you know you're buying it from Motion, it comes from Freewing. Obviously Freewing sends it to Motion, and then maybe Motion has to make some modifications, so they open it. So okay, one reason being they probably get these from Freewing and they need to put this in here, so they just, you know, do the bare minimum to open it, to slide this in. Maybe so. All right, your attention, 30-day warranty, and this same little Motion RC card that you get. All right, let's get it on out. So, all right, got it out. The same kind of setup you get on the bottom of a Motion kind of box, where you can see like the cutout, the shaping of the jet perhaps. Yeah, the whole bottom. All right. Freewing F22 Raptor 70mm, the brand new, without battery, of course. Some other information. Let me cut this open. All right, got it done. Cut up. This can kind of be challenging sometimes getting it out the box, but let's. Man, I don't like to prolong the videos. You know, gotta mention it. Somebody. So anyway, your standard yellow wrapper on your book. Your standard folded up speed control. This might be something that's being installed in these birds when they have to open it. That's what I was kind of talking about when I said, you know, basically it comes open. So Freewing must send it to Motion, and Motion puts it in. I don't know how that process goes. I'd like to know eventually. Anyway, you get a little parts goodie bag. If I move too quickly, please pause the video and, you know, take a look at what it is. That is the beauty of the technology that we have, where we can pause things and rewind on a fly with the scroll of a finger and see what's going on. Because I actually had somebody complain that I moved too quickly on a video. I'm going to tell you why I moved too quickly on videos. I've been watching YouTube videos for a very long time, and there is nothing I hate worse than someone who has a really long video and they take really long to say things. Listen, you have this power to fast forward and rewind. If you want to see something in more detail, stop the video, go back, put it in slow. You know, you can slow down the video if you need to, just to see more detail. Usually pausing and scrolling back and forth will get you anything you really wanted to see without much hassle. But like I said, I've actually had a couple of times where people say my videos were confusing. I don't understand how showing you the exact item can be confusing. Like the one that I did a tutorial on how to do something on a radio. If I have this full screen is radio, you can see everything I'm doing. I don't understand how that can be confusing. If you're confused, slow it down, rewind it, play it back, and do exactly what I do. Most of the time, what I have a problem with when I've been on the other end of this video trying to learn something is this will be the flat screen of your radio, and the person will be like, yeah, you do this. You can't see that. I want you to see it. I put my stuff flat. So sorry for the rant, but as of late, I've had somebody comment and say that my video was confusing and I'm moving too fast or whatever, whatever. So having said that, I'm not gonna make you watch too much of me just unwrapping this. I just wanted to rant about that, and you were able to see the parts at the same time. So it was the efficient use of my ranting time because I wasn't wasting your time completely. You're looking at me actually unboxing this aircraft, which is what you're interested in. You clicked on this video because maybe you want to buy one and you want to see what it's about. So, okay, each little piece, just like the F-16s I just recently did, each little piece is individually wrapped. Are they the greatest fit inside the box like E-flite does with all kinds of cool little stuff? No. Is that important to me? No, because you know why? This plane isn't damaged. In the same manner that they did the F-16, there's wood where this thing sits into the styrofoam. I am also going to cut that out like I did on the last bird and save that, because you never know when you're going to need a piece of wood to do a repair or any kind. Whoa. I'm excited. This is mine. So you don't see very times when I'm having a video that I'm doing an aircraft. Whoa, these wheels feel like they're so hard. They feel like they're plastic. That's not sexy at all. The other ones, wow, the gear closes in the front. That is so cool. This is so cool. This is actually my bird. So the build is going to be for myself. I'm probably going to, not probably, I'm going to do the maiden flight. You know, you got to do your own maiden flight at least. Might get somebody else to fly it for me for good videoing, because I'm going to probably get somebody else to film me for the maiden, which won't be the greatest video perhaps, or maybe it will if I can get Mr. Larry to do it. It will be pretty good because he's good at it now. But then I'll get somebody else to fly it, and you know, one of the experts, and kind of get a good view of a different flight on it, you know, takeoff and landing. So anyway, it's got a cool little duct system, and right here you can see like some clear plastic that's lining it to kind of complete the duct so it doesn't leak all into you, bleed into your other area. I don't know if that's like 100% necessary, but that's the way they got it. This is your big old fan in there, 70 millimeters. So cool. This is so cool. You got these little wing connectors that are stuffed into a slot. I like that. And then you got this connection pieces. So I don't know what the direction says, but just out of the necessity of sexiness, let's go ahead and catch one of these. So it already has its own tube built into it. I'm going to go ahead and slide this in. Now this doesn't look the super easiest because this wire is short, but I'm going to make sure it's the right way, which it's naturally upside down the way it wants to sit. And I got it fully extended, and yeah, I got to push the wing close to get it. So I'm going to get some forceps to kind of give me some reach. All right, so I am going to hold this in the configuration in which it needs to be inserted. And I'm going to kind of get it lined up to where it goes. Once I get it kind of lined up, then I'm going to take my finger, drive it home. Okay, it clicked in. So then now I'm going to, you see the wire in the middle there? The wire is guiding, kind of going to go straight in where it needs to go. And I'm going to flip this over to see what's what. All right, there's 2 push buttons. All right, so you push one. So awesome. So cool. Push the other one. The wing wouldn't go in before. The wing will go in now. I'm going to push it all the way in, then push this button. There's a slight gap right here, but it's kind of close there. So the button doesn't press very well. So that tells me that this needs to probably be pushed a little further. Hard to do with one hand. Yep. So I'm going to set this probably on the edge of there. Push it. Yeah. I think I got it now. Oh, nope. So now the button is pushed. So that's kind of in, out. See how this back one was kind of binding. See how hard it is? Yep, comes right out now. All right, so get both of them locked in. That is so cool. That is so cool. I think I maybe like the little tabs on the F-16 also, but this is definitely very cool. I don't think you're ever gonna, like, the gear's gonna be down, so you're gonna tear up all your gear if you were ever to hit this first and knock your wing off. If somebody might have some concerns that this might get pressed. I don't see how it could. That's very cool though. So I don't know, shouldn't have did that first, because you never do that first. You always do the tail section first, but I was so excited about that I went ahead and did it. But let's see what they say in the directions. As usual, you're gonna follow along with me in the book. Place the horizontal tail on the rotating shaft of the rear fuselage, push it into the fuselage, then fix with screws to prevent it from falling off. To prevent its fall off. Repeat steps for the other horizontal. All right, 3 by 6 millimeter, 2 pieces. Let's get the parts bag. Parts bag out of the way. 1 bag of screws. They all are the same, so I don't need to do a whole lot of investigation. Alrighty, so got my trusty multi-tool. Got it set. I don't know if this is the right size, but let's see. Yep. Lucked out. If it wasn't that right size, it would be on the flip side of there that I could obtain the right size. I love this tool because it's like just so easy to use to me. You might want to try one out. I'm not endorsing the company in any way. They haven't reached out to me or anything. It's just my personal opinion from using it quite a bit. So look at this. Looks like the top. Obviously, this is like the bottom. I'm gonna put this over here. Thread it in a hole. Let that fall. Gonna go look for another one. Yep. Where's the other one? 1, 2. Oh, underneath the manual, right where it was supposed to be. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and thread this in. So if you look, there's a little shoulder on those pins, just like the F16 had. So that's where your screw's gonna lock these in. Not a big deal. So get this put on. All right, just as the book mentioned, you could look through the hole and see that you're in the channel where this screw goes. So not super complicated maneuver. And I'm not 100% sure that you even need to worry about it, because when you push it in as far as it goes, it ends up at the right place. I mean, they really got this stuff on lock. So that's that. Thread this screw in. All right. Important explanation here. Attention, when the screw is tightened all the way down, please stop immediately when resistance is suddenly increased. Then twist the screw in the opposite direction, which means unturn, by a half turn, leaving certain gap between the screw and the groove of the rotating shaft. At this point, the rotating horizontal can move normally when pulling the tail outward. So basically, you tighten it down. So you got it. It's not tight at all. It doesn't matter where it is. I don't have to lock it down so this thing doesn't rotate or anything. So I'm gonna tighten it. Still spinning. Still not much resistance. Yeah, I don't think it's ever getting resistance. I think it's slipping in there. So they say as soon as you feel resistance, I never felt any resistance. It kind of must have just stripped out whatever it was going, because this hole is kind of form fit. So it is locked in there still yet though, unless that screw were to back out. So got it pushed in. I'm gonna get it where it's closed. Yeah, you never really feel much resistance, and it never stops. And like I said, there's only one size screw that came with the kit. So as normal, the directions could be a little bit more specific, but no big deal. I mean, this is locked in on both sides, so I think we're safe. It's a safe bet there. Moving on to the next step. As shown in the photos, push the 2 tabs to release the wing lock in, what do they call them? Press the main wing screw, let's quick install, unlock it. So that's what I just showed you, the push button, push in, push out. So I don't need to show you any more of that. I kind of showed you that before I did anything else. So I'm gonna just kind of skip past this step, and I'm gonna get them installed off camera because you kind of already know what that's about. You slide it in, you connect the plug and keep it moving. They're showing you 4 pieces of main screw, quick connect, install, switch, put in the lock status. So yeah, same thing I just was covering with you. Now we go into the tail. So let me get that part done first. So these videos are about opinions and stuff, and even though I'm trying to make it quick, I decided to go ahead and cover this while I was at this point. I'm gonna go ahead and unlatch and unlatch. I got the ribbon installed. I've covered this many times before that I really don't like taking birds apart, you know, but this one is probably one of the least evasive maneuvers to pull apart, because you don't even need a standard hex head or something to do it. So I guess I'm not going to complain about that too much, but I would say the fact that the ribbon is kind of hard to plug in. You need, like, you're going to need another tool to dig in there, because your fingers can't fit very well, because the wire's not long enough for you to get your whole hand in there and do a gap. Like on the F16, you take your whole hand, you plug it in. This one, the wire's kind of tight. Maybe I could tug on it. I don't want to find out. Leave it as it is and do it like that with forceps. But I think it's already still going to kind of be big, because these stick out this far. So you're only going to get a few inches on each side to make it slimmer by taking the wings off. Maybe it'll make sense. I don't know. I'll see when I put it in my van. Let you know about that. But anyway, going on to the vertical tail. Connect the vertical tail servo cable to the servo extension cable. Looks like I see a servo in here that's connected. It says elevator. That's kind of what's pushed down in this slot. I don't need to move that. I see a loose connector in here that's in a slot that can nicely hold it for future reference. So let me hold this up so you can see that. Yeah, you see that slot? Like, you can pick this up out of here, obviously. But once you get it connected, that slot I'll put this right back in that slot to keep it kind of still during flight and crashes or whatever. Get the tail, bring it on over. Obviously your beautiful side needs to be out. Your rudders need to work, so this would be backwards. And this will be correct. So I'm gonna go ahead and let me read the rest of it. Extension cable clamp fully hooked into the servo cable. Insert the vertical tail fin into the fuselage, over the fuselage, and then tighten with the screw. Here we go. Here you go. Complete the other set to the other side. It didn't say so that it doesn't fall off, though. That's weird. Why didn't they say that? They normally say that. I like them to say that at this point, because it's so obscure for them to say it in the way they say it. So I'm gonna connect this with the browns on the same side of the wire. Lock it in. I've covered it with other aircraft just in case you haven't seen them. I love these compared to the little blue or red thing that you buy and clip on. For one, these are already on there. They're easy to take off. They're not easier to take off, I'm sorry. They're harder to take off, but they're all built in. You don't need to do anything extra, like the little red things can end up being bulky and get in the way when you're trying to stick, you know, do different installs. So anyway, I'm gonna get that tucked in that slot I was just telling you about. Push this down into there. Go ahead and get the other side done. Check and make sure I'm on frame, because I hate it when people do videos and they're off frame. And if I'm ever off frame, I have to super duper apologize, and I hope you forgive me for it, because I never mean to. I want to make sure that I'm showing you 100% of what I'm doing. So being off frame is not in the cards. And I would never turn my radio to the side when I'm trying to show you to do something. I want you to see it. So I'm gonna mostly, when I'm doing something like that, I'm gonna let the radio flat on the surface. I'm gonna set up my jig here, my camera rig, to face straight down onto it. Now, there have been times, I'm not gonna claim it's never happened. There have been times when I was doing something on the fly and the radio might have not been in the best view. I'm not gonna say it's never happened, but I'm try to never let it happen, especially excessively. I'll look at the video at some point and figure out that I'm doing what I'm doing, and then I'll stop it right away and get you back into frame. Now, I don't know how I'm gonna do this with, I just had some pads underneath the aircraft because I didn't want to get it too high. I am going to have to go high now because I got to flip it over in order to put the screws in. Might just be able to do it on its side. Let's see. Maybe I should have put these on before the wings. Yeah, that might work. Go ahead and put this pad here. Yeah. So there's 2 holes where something can go underneath the bottom. They're empty. There's 4 screws left, all the same size. Go ahead and get this stuffed in there. Hold this down. Feel out some resistance. I think I'm gonna go too crazy on that resistance because these are very short screws, and I don't know, like the other one felt like it might have stripped out on the tail section there, so I don't want to, you know, I don't know. All right, got some tension, and in a brick wall, these actually tighten into a nice tension, so I like that. Very positive on that. Get the other side done. Hold my surface, make sure it's in. Start screwing it in. I'm going to get the second screw, and I don't need to tell you all this, but it's going to be a short video, I promise. So doing every step of it wouldn't be too bad for this aircraft. This is, man, easy peasy. All right, so you got a couple of these left, obviously. Then you got a replacement one of these, and a replacement one of these in case, I don't know, I guess I don't see these installed anywhere. Maybe on the landing gears where this would go. So anyhow, on the last build I've done, the last assembly that I've done, it was not needed. The next step is to, as shown, install the nose cone to the fuselage. I'm sure this only goes on one way. There's a little point. Match up the point to the point on your aircraft. Match up the smooth to the smooth on your aircraft. If you're looking at this and you think I didn't show great detail, trust me, it's not important. Once you look at the one that you have, you'll see that that's not a big deal because it's very noticeable when you're looking at the actual aircraft. All right, I'm gonna try and get me a little more space. All right, moving on to the connections. So to get there, I could probably just imagine that these are correct and connect this link to it, but I'm probably going to just want a servo center first. I could use a servo tester, but I probably want to go ahead and just put the receiver in. Let me figure out which way I want to do that. Sorry, I jumped ahead a little bit. I've found that screwing these in can be pretty easy when you're using the connected to the servo already, so I don't have to worry about stressing out the servo horn. So I'm gonna put this ball on here. There we go. Put this ball on here. Kind of turn this to the point where it's gonna make a turn so the Z-band makes sense. If I was to do this flipped around this way, and that works. I got this other side already where it's coming out like that, so both of the push rods go to the inside. So this will be the formation I'll use. Now you could perhaps do it in this configuration, but it wouldn't be exactly straight. So right now, with it flipped in like this, that'll make it straight. So it says to go in the direction, it says to use a second hole from the end of the servo horn. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that pushed in there. It's a tight fit, but not tight enough where I feel like I can get it in by hand. So I don't, like, it's in already. I say I can get it in by hand, but you're about to see me put a tool on it. I can get it in by hand. It's already in there. But to get it where I can maneuver it better, I'm gonna use this needle nose. I hope this is coming out on video close enough, and I hope my hand isn't in the way. So I know the elevators are in the way a little bit, but I'm gonna take this, and then I just need to get it to the point where it'll turn. So I'm gonna push it down so it's straight, and then I'm gonna turn it. And I kind of like these to be a little bit stiff because, and you see, I was able to turn it by hand without the tool because, I don't know, it just gives you less slop in there. And it's still, see, it's still loose where it moves back and forth. So it definitely didn't need to be made any bigger. So as long as these servos are centered where they are, you can see I need to go in quite a bit on these. We'll kind of get it close to that right now because I'm fairly confident that these are centered. Getting close. All right, I'm not going to even connect that until we fire it up. But no need to make you sit around for the whole second side of that adjustment. I'm going to go ahead and do that off frame. So what I've decided to do is use a servo tester just so I can get this kind of hard part out of the way. Not hard part, but hard mounting point out the way so I don't have to worry about it. I got my servo tester, got it plugged into my 1-cell battery that I normally use. So I see they got rudder, landing gear, elevator, and flap are all single plugs, one yellow wire. They got a whole ribbon coming from this distribution block. So the only place it's getting that has a black wire, or the other two wires basically, is aileron. So that means I'm gonna have to hook up aileron. So I'm gonna hook up aileron. All right, they work. Now I can, because we have a ground already installed in a hot, I can go ahead and hook up any of these signal wires that I want to use. I'm only interested in the elevator, so I'm gonna go ahead and hook up the elevator. All right, I heard that center. I'm gonna hit my servo tester. I'm gonna go to neutral. So that's neutral. I'm gonna flip this back over. And of course that's gonna fall out onto the table, but we don't care. All right, my stabs fell down just like we knew they would. I think I'm gonna let it up like this. Maybe put some foam under it. Yeah, let me get that set up. One more piece of foam to pad my baby. All right, yeah, that's good. You can see it. So now these servos are both centered. I can kind of reach these balls back. I'm gonna have this surface even right here at the back edge of the bird, where I'm assume is the best place. Now they're still too long. So if I'd have snapped them in, I would have ultimately been taking them off. So that's why I never like to snap them in. All right, still a little long. All right, get my edge flat as I can. Getting close. Yep. I like to sit the ring of the ball link onto the ball itself, and then you can kind of see if you're good. And before you snap it on, just push it tight, and you'll know. All right. So I hope that makes sense what I'm explaining. Yep. So once you get this adjusted to the screw-in length you want, let's see if I can zoom out a little bit to get you the edge of the surface that you need to see. Yeah. So I want this flat right here, right? So then I'm gonna push this on here. Now it's locked in. This can't go anywhere because I'm holding a little tension on it. But if I push it all the way in, I'm gonna have to take it ultimately off if I'm not satisfied. So this surface to me can go a little bit down, which means I went too far. So I'm gonna unloosen it. One, make sure it's sitting flat where the ball can go in there. Perfect. Push it in. And now I feel good about that. That seems good. So I'm gonna lock it in. Whoa, these balls are extremely hard to push in. Almost where it didn't even like go in with a click or anything like they normally do. So see if I can do this second side for you. Flip this ball back, push it on. It's way too low, so that means I need to tighten this. Tighten it one turn, get it even with the ball, hold it on with some tension. Yeah, it's pretty good. This side here that I thought I was finished with, I don't know, it's a little high, but I think there's a little bit of slop. So I think this one's slop matches this one's slop right now. So I might just lock that in. I did, and it had a positive click like I'm used to. So this side, I don't know. I might pull the ball link pliers. Oh, it came off my hand. So I'm gonna hold this even. Yeah, it doesn't go on with your standard, but it is on the ball. I think I'm good there. So I'm gonna go ahead and reach in for my trusty servo tester. See if I can hit the button without looking. There we go. Surfaces move good. I'm happy with that. I'm gonna hit the button again to stop that. All right, we'll go ahead and flip the beautiful baby over. All right, get these unplugged because that's of no importance anymore. Everything's centered. I'm satisfied with that. See what we got next. Something that's brand new to me. I don't know if it's brand new to Motion. I think it is though. The CG marks are on the aircraft embossed into the foam. So there's no more. I always go through my whole ritual of using my little stickers to mark, my little CG stickers to mark. I don't need to do that. I love that. That is awesome. They should have been, everybody should do that. Like if you're not doing it, your RC play. So I got everything done on that waterfront. I'm gonna go ahead and take a look and show you guys in here. I already showed you this kind of duct system I've never seen before. That's pretty cool. All the wires are coming across very neatly going underneath this board. I like that. Your power cable, it's in EC5. I'm fold that out the way for now. So now we got all of our wires in this little single harness I was showing you. They could go either way. So what I'm looking at is these are for throttle right here. And then this is going to be reverse thrust, of course, taking off of that. So that not much room on that, but I can configure that to perhaps work. So what I'm going to see is if I put this receiver this way, it fits right there perfectly, like the perfect little snuggest bug in a rug. It can't go any further forward on the battery anyway, so I think that's a good situation. I might have to go further forward than that actually, because if the plugs are in the back, it'll face like this. But if I flip it around this way, maybe that might work too, but let me play with it for a second. I'll come back when I figure it out. Back to the drawing board on what I just said. The 6-channel receiver is not going to work. I'll explain to you why. This aircraft has landing gear and it has flaps. That brings us to 6 channels. In order to get reverse thrust, I'm going to need 7 channels. So that means I'm going to have to go up to this 8 channel. AR 8360T. So now I got to reconfigure my idea and see if it fits. And the 8360T does not fit. So I'm going to have to maybe put it on its side. I don't know. But once again, I'm configuring again. Just like I covered earlier, I'm going to go ahead and do this part. I got the receiver. I'm going to, I got a model created. I just took a rudimentary picture of this plane sitting on a bench. I'm going to probably do a pretty one on the runway or something tomorrow. I mean, whenever I can fly it. Hopefully tomorrow, but it's probably not going to be. I'm going to go ahead and get the receiver in bind mode. I could do this inside the bird, but in this situation, I'm going to decide to go ahead and fire it up right here. I'm going to push the button. It's blinking. I'll go to bind. I'm going to hold it down.
Bind complete. DSMX 22 milliseconds. Telemetry.
All right, got that done. So it's going to download its packets. 7 found. Just get a few quick housekeeping things out the way. Model adjust, throttle cut. I'm going to turn it off inhibit. I'm going to hit the switch that I like to use. This one. That's going to activate it. Switch H. All right. I don't like this configuration they use, so I'm going to change it. I'm going to unclick that. I'm going to click that. So that way, when this is in this position away from me, right, that's safe. If all my switches are up, I'm all safe. I don't need to think about it. Safe, safe, safe. My way I do it. You can do it how you want to do it. When I flip it up, that's going to cut the aircraft on. I can fly. You can easily, while scared in a flight, hit this up. But it's a lot harder to reach up and hit it down. That's my way of thinking. Whether it's right to you or not, of no importance. That's just explaining why I do what I do. Okay? Moving forward from there, I got my throttle cut set. Let's see what else I need. Oh, flap system. I'm going to go ahead and put it on this one I got this rubber on right here, the blue. That's the one I like. That's the one I use. So I'm going to hit switch, put it to that. All right, it went to switch D. So in 0 position, I don't know where these servos are going to be centered at. So let's assume that they are, I'm going to just go ahead and add something here. Let's say 50%. Okay, I'm gonna add something here, 100%. I don't know if I'm right. I'm gonna come back and fix it later. Let's go ahead and set the time, speed. Everybody likes a 2-second. I'm gonna go ahead and do that because it's just a kind of a standard at this point. I think it's good at 2 seconds, so whatever, it works. Never had an aircraft really wig out when I hit the flaps, so I haven't found that to be an issue. All right, back. Look at what else I got. Forward program, I need to get into that, but let's do that after we get throttle curve, dual rate. They do give you some stuff in the book. You could choose to follow it or not. You got your low rate, high rate suggestions. 25 millimeter, 30 millimeter. So we might eventually do that. I might probably put a ruler on it and see where it is when it has its standard throws and kind of make my decisions from there. Horizontal PMP setting perimeters, horizontal tail center position. So it's showing you a place where you center it at. I'm not exactly understanding the picture from what they show right there, but 8 millimeters down from this flat surface. Let's see if I can take a look at that. Can't really tell anything, but yeah, all that needs to be done once the bird is fired up, so I'm not going to pay too much attention to that. But yeah, I could set up a dual rate, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to just probably put in some expo. 30% Spectrum. Look at that. Spectrum brand remote. Aileron, elevator, rudder. That's weird that they actually have Spectrum brand remote control. 30%. I guess, oh, that's why, because they're giving you the Futaba here, which is going to be a negative. That makes sense. And then for Spectrum, 30. So they're recommending 30% across the board. I can go ahead and put that in. Get this up here so I could see it better. Expo. Let me assign these. Like right now, they're just going to be a switch on. Aileron. Switch on. Yeah. So I'm going to hit switch on. I'm going to hit F. And I'm going to probably put the aileron on F. Yeah. 30% is a lot for a manufacturer to recommend. So kind of a little worried about that. I might want more than 30. All right. Rate at 100%. I'm going to measure those out and see if I need to go less. Because by these be full moving stabs, I might decide to. Elevator might be the one that's critical, so I'm going to put that on C. And ultimately, if I get these set, and I don't think I need to touch them anymore, I'm going to assign them all to one switch with just 3 levels on one switch. But for the first flight, in case I need to separate elevator, I'm going to go ahead and do it. So I'm going to go ahead and go 30. All right. I think I can safely put rudder on the same switch. I would separate it if I thought there was an issue. But what I can do is, if I have a problem taking off, I can change the rate on that to slow things down some. I'm going to go ahead and put that 30%. All right, so from here, I'm probably going to go ahead and assign this. I never assigned it. So that's all set to switch C now. So where I had it at was at the second position, which is wrong. So I'm going to go ahead and fix the first position. All right. Sometimes you get to the right number in one try. Sometimes you got to go back and forth. All right, so rudder, elevator 30% in the off position. Then aileron all the way up, 100%, 30%. That's what we want. So I'm gonna set another dual. I'm gonna set a dual rate just in case. I don't know, whatever reason. All I'm gonna do is, I don't need to have you on video and make this super long. All I'm gonna have is, sorry, okay. Right here for dual rate, I'm gonna have 100% as this up position. I'm gonna do it on both sides. I'm gonna do it on elevator, rudder, and aileron. But they're on different switches. But I'm gonna just tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put 100, 80, and 70. So that way, when I flip that switch, it's gonna be dramatic. So I don't need to show you the whole setting it up thing. It's gonna take too long, waste your time. So I'll show you what I did, but until I get things in the air and check it out, I'm, probably not gonna matter too much. But anyway, all the way up, normal position, 130. 80-25, 70-20. So that's all three my positions. I did the same thing on different switches though for aileron, elevator, and rudder. So that should work out for a first flight. Normally I don't touch that at all. If anything, I might come back in 100% and change it to more expo. But if it's too uncontrollable, since I'm fairly unconfident and I've never flown this before, if it's real squirrely, I'll probably dial down, because this thing has full stabs, which would make it kind of a whole lot more control surface and very detrimental on what you do with a little of expo. So a lot of expo plus maybe limited. I'll see. Let's see how it flies. I don't need to get into all that until we get it in the air, so that's unimportant. At this point, I got the receiver updated. I got throttle cut and everything set up. I'm gonna go ahead and try to figure out how to get this in. This receiver is much wider. This is the 8 channel, so gotta figure out how I'm gonna shoehorn it in here. I didn't glue my base in yet. It did come with a little Ziploc. Let's see what this little. On the F16, it did come with a little bag like this, but I ended up not using it because it didn't even fit the situation. Yeah, look at this. This is at least a straight piece. Maybe I will use this one, because it is still got to be trimmed down a little bit, but it is kind of gonna work for this aircraft. So yeah, perhaps I'll use it. On the F16, it had a weird cutout. I didn't use it at all. I ended up using my own stuff, which I like better. This has a recommended battery from 3500C. 3500 milliamps to 5000. So I have 5000s. I'll probably never fly the heavy batteries. I don't like flying heavy. So I do have a 3300 here. It says 35 though, but I'm pretty sure a 33 will put in some muscle for it. The weight difference between these is only about 2 ounces. So I don't know. I'll probably fly it on this one first because I'm a Spectrum guy. I like the single line. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this kind of set up and see what's what. Maybe I'll put it with the battery lead forward first and see how that manages. And if that doesn't work good for me, I might just reconfigure my thoughts on it later. But for right now, this needs to be repositioned a little bit. Yeah, it's hard to slide these sometimes. I think this is actually... All right, there we go. So I got that because I want that latch to be at the edge of the battery. Yeah, let's try that. That looks more convincing, because it's kind of hard dealing with the battery straps. But with the Velcro strap in there and that stuff underneath the bottom that Motion gives you, nobody else gives you that stuff like talking about it. It's actually pretty secure without that stuff underneath. So just imagine when I put the stuff underneath, it's going to be really still. So this is going to be bound. So the gear switch is down. Let's hope that's right. Get everything else configured in a safe position. I'm going to go ahead and power it on up. So the flaps went straight down. That means my flaps are wrong. All right, looks like I gotta do some changes. So I'm gonna flip the aircraft around just because that's what I like to do. Look at the tail of the aircraft when I'm doing changes, especially flap changes and such. So I'm gonna just get this out of the way because I don't want to sit it on top of the radio. Maybe puncture the beautiful new wing with a pointy radio surface. All right, so let's fix the flaps first because that's the most blaring thing. We'll go to flap system. So at 0 position right here, so they're going further and further down, right? I'm going to go ahead and make this 100, negative 100 as far as it goes. So hit OK. So then the first position will be there. I think that might be too far, but I'm gonna read the book and get the settings for that. So that's 50, 0, that's negative 100. Let's make this one 0. Okay, so negative 100 to straight, 0 to there, and then 100 all the way down. It's actually 95, but I'm gonna go ahead and add a few to it. And some elevator kind of added to that by mistake, so I don't want that. I'm going to fly it. I might add a little elevator just to kind of guess. Let's see if the book has something about elevator. So they do have some recommendation on the flaps. It's going to be 24 millimeters for the first rate, then 33 for the second. So I don't exactly need to deal with that right now, but at least I told you. So this is all the way up 0, which is weird because 0 is not going up enough. I might have to do a mechanical on that so you could see it. See what I'm saying? It's still sticking down quite a bit because the aileron is even with the edge of the wing and the flap is way down. So I could do sub trim or I could do a manual. I prefer to do manual, and that way if I need to do something later, I don't know, I probably could do sub trim because flaps are something you never need to touch. So let's see what that looks like right fast. I can show you that. Let's test everything else out and get them all straightened out first. I'm sorry. So my elevators pulling down is going to make the aircraft go up. That's what I need. Other direction. I think 100% is probably not too much. This is not super dramatic, so I think that'll work actually. Ailerons. All right, I'm going up right here, and it's going the wrong way. So I'm gonna go to model adjust, servo setup. I'm gonna go to aileron. I'm gonna flip that switch. So now my aileron will be right. All right, good there. Rudder, turn right, turn left. That looks good. All right, this is the part kind of hard to do. So I'm going to kind of weirdly configure things until I can get a good place for you to see. I'm gonna take the nose cone off since it magnetically goes on, which is very cool. I made a mistake and crushed in the gear door right here while I was picking it up, and I know you might have heard a crunch. So now I'm going to fire up. Let's see if I can figure this better so you can maybe see both sets of gear. I mean, front and rear gear, not both sets. All right, that kind of covers it. So I'm gonna hit the switch, see what we get. That opened and it closed. What that means is the gear is gonna be backwards. So when I open this, they're gonna probably, yep, it weren't backwards, they were perfect. So whenever you get that opening and closing of the sequencer, that just means that it was in the wrong position when it fired up, and now it's corrected. And when you fire it up again, it'll, you know, be fine. So I'm gonna tuck those wires in underneath the gears so I don't see them, for one, so that they don't have a chance of any drama. All right, so let's put it on its wheels, see what it looks like. I know I have mentioned this in other videos. If you've never watched any other ones, I'm not a real big Raptor fan. I love them. I love the way they fly, but I'm kind of more old school. I actually worked on F-18s for a good while in my Marine Corps career, and the rest of it mostly on Hueys and Cobras and Harriers and stuff. So at the end of the day, what I'm saying all that to say is I love the new style. I love the technology. I love what it does. I love everything about it. However, I don't like the silhouette that much. So like when I see an F-18, to me, it's sexier. So just that, all I had to say, no big deal. All right, so I got everything set up. I can probably get AS3X and safe set up. Probably going to deal with those flaps first, make my decision whether I want to do the sub trim or the mechanical. Let's take a look at the mechanical side of it. I need to go out, which means I release these some. They look like they're already out a little bit, so maybe I will use the sub trim, because like it's not like it's flaps or something where it's going to be detrimental if I lose some. You know what I'm saying? I could lose some in sub trim and then not ever care about it, because you're never going to adjust flaps again once they're flat. So let's go ahead and cycle these in. They're so beautiful. These have suspension, which is crazy. I've never seen another smaller bird like this have it. And to be honest with you, I was kind of thinking about this bird 70 millimeter being kind of small or along the same lines as my F-18 64 millimeter. Let me whip that out and show you a size difference. All right, here's the F-18. So I'm gonna just, because of the station, the way I'm set up, so if I hold the rearest most portion of the F-18, even with the rearest portion of the Raptor, you can see the Raptor is so much bigger than the F-18. All right, that's about close as I can get it. But you're talking about the nose plus an inch or two. I can't get down there without walking around the table and messing up the video. But width-wise, from wingtip to wingtip, it's probably, yeah, it's quite a bit different. If you could see that on the video. Let me see if I can angle this down. If I can get this positioned and hold this evenly enough without interlocking a whole lot of stuff. All right, that's about the wingtip of the F18. And you can see you got this much real estate from the end of here to the end of there. So, you know, I can pull out a ruler, but it's unimportant. The important part is that it's quite a bit different. It's not a regular 64 size bird, which the inherent problem. I know you've seen my video about these 64s. One of my guys in the club put retracts on. I might have this one outfitted with some retracts too, because I love this F18 silhouette. And then this bird is so lightweight and flies so good. I would like to have the retracts to complete it, because it's so cool to see this thing flying by. But then when you do like this and you see those stupid wheels, even if you do put the ordinals on, you still got those stupid wheels which ruin everything. So that's my rant on that. Well, I got the wheels out. I looked at it straight on. The wheel looks very centered. I like that. That's cool. Cool suspension. I mean, look at that, man. This is going to be so fun. The wheel is super duper hard, though. I'm kind of a little preoccupied about that part. I'm gonna go ahead and close these gear now. I don't need them out for anything, and it's so hard to store birds and such when they're in the out position. I don't need them out. I'll get them in. Awesome. All right, this is so cool, and the whole big flat surface of it just is what makes these fly so awesome. Oh my goodness, they fly so good. I did that video for the big one, and I've been watching him. He let me fly before. I flew in the bigger one, and I love it. So I think I'll love this too, especially because it's a little bit more manageable in size. Yada, yada, yada. All right, I think I'm ready to start with the flaps, so give me a minute. All right, back to flaps. I'm gonna go ahead and, so as I mentioned, this is even with the edge, and the flap is down some. So it's obviously off from the way they put it together. No big deal. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to model adjust, servo setup. Turn my headlight off because it's giving you a glare. All right, I want you to see the surface so that you can see this and this at the same time. See if I can get a little bit better though. All right, that's maybe better. All right, so from here, I'm going to go to sub trim. And if you have an NX radio, this is a little bit harder to understand when you're doing it, but it's the same. It's the same maneuver. So I'm gonna come down to flap, right? I'm gonna click it. And then I could start clicking numbers, but to make it make sense, to know which way I need to go, I'm gonna go ahead and move this around. And I can see the surface moving. And I'm gonna get it right where I think it goes. All right, so kind of fell into a spot that I think is actually perfect. So, not that this number is going to be the same for yours, so don't even pay attention to this number. Just use that procedure I did. Move this around and then fine tune it with these up and down keys. Once you get it right, hit the OK, and that's it. You're going to be locked in. So now I got it where I think I'm good. And it's probably still way too much. I'll go ahead and measure that and see where I need to go for distance. I really like dramatic flaps, so if this thing will fly with them all the way down, I'll probably go ahead and do that. If I fly in it and I put down the full flaps and it looks like it's having issues in some way, I don't know why would it have issues? You know, nobody's ever explained it to me. I'm fairly new. If you do, please put that in the comments. Why would having too much flaps give you any other issue other than going really slow? And you could always add power to that and kind of give you like a high alpha situation. But anyway, explain to me if you know. Otherwise, what I'm gonna do is if I have trouble with that, it doesn't seem to fly right, I'm gonna put it on takeoff flaps, and then that should be right where it is. But I am going to measure it and see how close this is to the gap that they recommend and kind of go from there. But like I said, where I'm at is a negative 138 to get the flaps where they are flat with the aileron. And like I said, I'm going to go with the sub trim instead of the mechanical because I don't think it'll ever be an issue. So that's that. I'm fully satisfied, locked everything in with my flap system. Ends up nice and flat. I'm ready to set up my gyro system. Let's see if I can get you in that area because There we go. I'm gonna have to put this receiver probably like that. It's the only flat surface they have. I don't like it. I would prefer it to be, you know, flat in the airplane, but you kind of see the 6-channel receiver would have sit so perfectly in the little gap that they have right here. Right here, would have sit there perfectly side by side, and I would have been perfect, but couldn't get it because this 8-channel is bigger. I could eat out a little bit of the corner. Maybe I'll investigate that because I hate what I got to do with this. But the wires are in, everything is working. I haven't tried throttle. Let's go ahead and fire that up. And reverse thrust.
Timer stop.
So you hear the timer start, timer stop. That's because my throttle cup was engaged. So, all right. So make it make sense. Try to get this out of the way a little bit. Get this down where you can see perfectly. Go ahead and set up reverse thrust for you. Alrighty. Get my headlamp off. Alright, so it's full picture. I'm gonna go ahead and set I put this on channel 7, so you can go to your monitor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Obviously, gear flaps. The next one open is aux 2. I can see if something's already assigned to. It's okay, normal for me to move the radio. aux 2 is right here. I'm looking for a movement. Nothing. I'm not gonna hit the gear because nothing's working it right. So then I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go to. I'm gonna go back. Start right here. Channel assign. Turn it off. That's fine. aux 2 is going to be set to B. So that's going to be where safe mode is. So then maybe I'll assign safe mode to aux 3 right there on right knob. So let's go ahead and since I put it in channel 7, I'm gonna hit this. I'm gonna go ahead and put this to the switch I like to use. It's going to be G. All right, channel 7. All right, model adjust. All right, let's see what we got. Cancel. aux 2, sorry. Working on the switch that I want. So I'm gonna go ahead and power up some thrust. So it's backwards for the way I want it. So I'm gonna go in here, model adjust. See if I can get this for you. Model adjust, servo setup. I'm gonna go to aux 2. I'm gonna flip that. So now I should have, yep, I got thrust coming back. So I'm gonna hit that. I'm gonna hit this switch. It automatically reversed on the second one and does nothing on the third position. All right. So I'm gonna set up that third position to do a full thrust reverse just to make sure I don't have to worry about throttling down. All right, real quick. One of the people in the comments of another video covered, said something about this, and I thought about it. Like I've shown you guys how to do this in another video, but I guess I got to keep on like resurfacing it because I don't want you to, I don't even remember what video it was. I can't even really tell people which one to go to look at. So I already set I'll do it on all my aircraft. So I'm gonna just go ahead and do it on frame. I don't want to normally make the videos too long, so I leave out certain details. But anyway, I got my position on my switch where this is forward and both of these are back, right? So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go into right here, mixes, mixing right there on this menu. So right from your main screen, go to model adjust. If you have an NX, it's slightly different, but still, nonetheless, you want to get to the menu that's called mixing, right? That's where you want to be. You want to go to mixing. From mixing, you're going to have some, don't touch these at the top. That's other stuff. I'm going to hit this one that's open. I'm going to hit curve is no curve, just normal. I'm going to name it brake just because if I need to reference it later, I can, whatever. I just name it. You don't have to name it at all. So I could either go throttle to my switch or my position, my aux channel. It doesn't have to be switch. It's actually aux channel. Either way you go, throttle to that or that to this, right? So first off, let's see if I can hit the switch. I can't. So I'm going to have to search for it. So then I named it aux 2, right? Remember? So, yep, I'm going to hit aux 2. Then the next thing is obviously throttle. It's the second one down, easy to press. All right, so then all you got to do here is use your rate, right? So I got 3 positions on this switch, right? So these 2 positions right here, this is forward flight. I just switched it on the thing, so yep, it's puffing out some thrust. Actually, a whole lot. I do this a lot, and that's a lot of thrust coming out of there. To see, I'm just bumping it. Anyway, just a rant. But then this will be reversed, and then I'll let you hear it. You heard it reverse. So that's my reverse, right? So now from here, I want to hit switch right there. You see where it says switch? That's just to assign it to where you want to go for that aux. So then I'm gonna hit that. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the switch, right? So now you got 0 and 0 right here. And don't worry about your offset. You could use the offset that would cause you to, you could use offset and then have a certain amount of throttle on the stick advance the throttle, the full throttle on the rate up here. So that's way too much. I don't like to deal with all that. It ends up making it where I hit my props on the ground with prop planes. So anyway, I don't like dealing with that too much anymore. It's good. Just in case you're coming in with some throttle, it'll give this more unnecessary for prop planes. So anyway, I just want this jet to come in and get full throttle reverse when I hit this switch, right? So to do that, the simple mechanism, I assigned it to G. If I put it down where that's forward, I want this to be 0 and 0. If I put it to the second position, I want that to still be controllable in case I want to back up on the runway. I don't want to have to back up with full thrust, right? So I may have one position to back up and stuff. And then when I flip it to the third position, to me, that's what I want. That's my oh shit button, right? So right there, make sure I'm on frame. I'm going to hit this rate button, and then I'm going to adjust that. Now, at the end of the day, this should be 100. So like you're going to, like not negative 100, sorry, positive 100. Because you want that to be full throttle. All right. So I'm in position G. It'll go full throttle. So then the negative of this, now with this all the way down, is the whole purpose of this, and this up, you could look at my numbers and then turn this switch off, like all the way down, and then you're safe. But I don't like to do it that way. Especially with prop planes, I like to add just a little. So I'm gonna flip this to me where it's on. I'm gonna hold the plane secure, and I'm not gonna show that because I need to show you the screen. But from this point, you need to adjust this value on the negative side because, of course, we're at a positive here. So when you get to negative, then you're gonna add the thrust in the other direction, and the more you get, the more it is. I'm probably gonna go 100 anyway, but that's where I wanted to, you know, kind of give you the perspective of what. I didn't want to adjust that, and I hate when you do it by mistake because it ends up being hard to adjust. There we go. All right, got that done. I'm gonna hit OK. I'm gonna come here. So I'm at this -6 is doing nothing, and you can kind of walk this up with your hand. You hear the motor. So now that I know I just want 100% no matter what, right? I could cut this off because I don't need to rev it up while I'm doing it. So I'm gonna just go ahead and go back. Oh, I need to actually cut the bird off because when I cut this off, I can't adjust that value. All right, so I'm gonna do that. Let me disconnect the bird and then I'll adjust it. All right, bird disconnected. So now I'm gonna take this value to a -100 because that will probably shut this thing down. It's very powerful, but these birds tend to not be very efficient going backwards. So just enough to stop it, I would hope, you know, in my status pilot wise. As I always disclaim, I'm new, I'm a newbie, so don't expect me to fly perfect. I'm knowledgeable on the electronic side. I've been doing RC my whole life. I actually had a hobby shop, and after coming back from overseas, you know, Afghanistan, 2 tours, kind of things went bad. So anyway, unimportant about me. It's about this. So now I'm gonna go ahead and plug back up, waste some of your time by doing it on frame, but I'm getting tired of this video now. I need to finish. All right, got it on. All right, this is in this position, so that's why the ESC is beeping. Push that down. It armed. So now we're ready to go. I'm gonna click this reverse thrust. All right, you heard it reverse. All right, so then I'm no throttle at all. I'm hold the airplane right fast just so I don't have a folly. Then I'm gonna hit this full thrust. So I just clicked it for a second so you can see. That's it. That's all you need on reverse thrust. As far as your emergency reverse thrust. So you, to make that make sense, you're coming in, you're flying, you're taxiing. You want to taxi, you taxi with the reverse forward. You get to the edge of the runway, you can't make the turn, you hit this up, you back the puppy up, put it back forward, straighten it out, take off, fly. You're coming in on the runway, there's a lot of stuff going on, you're nervous. You know about this reverse thrust, see how my finger's on it? I like to do that. I like to do that with safe, and I like to do that reverse thrust. I'll keep my finger on it. If I need to, I don't keep my finger on it because there's a chance you could mistakenly hit it up. So when I'm not about to hit it, I don't keep my finger on it. But otherwise, I keep my finger on it like this, sideways, so that you really can't do anything with it until you flip your finger down and then hit it forward. But you come in on the runway, you're landing, you're about to go in the grass, you're scared you're gonna mess up your pretty gear, you hit it, you stop the bird. That's it. So let's see what I'm gonna go through next, probably safe. All right, so I've got my receiver mounted. You see what I did. I put Velcro on this bulkhead. This gets mostly all of the wiring forward of where it comes out the bottom anyway. So there's not much room in here for movement of a battery anyway. So I'm kind of, maybe I'm gonna put a zip tie on here to tidy some of this wiring up. But I got one of my receiver antennas comes this way, and there's a ledge underneath. Let me see. Let me free. So there's a ledge underneath here. You see the antenna wire come? I got it feeding along that ledge. You could kind of maybe see the little tube. I use an antenna tube. I like that. It just tightens things up. I use another one right here. I had the wire come around and go straight down. So now I got one going straight this way. So one area, and now this one goes down where the antenna tail is. So give me two different axes of antenna. So it's kind of sitting there face up. I'm not 100% sure that you can put these receivers in that configuration, but they have a lot of configurations. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the auto setup and let it do its thing and see what's what. At this point, I got everything set up besides safe mode. I'm gonna go ahead and set that up, but I don't think I need to like bring you through the whole process because I have so many videos with safe. Just look up one of my videos with safe, and you know, that'll kind of get you where you need to be. I don't really need to do a factory reset, I don't think. Yeah, it's already set reset because it's that first time setup. This is a brand new receiver, haven't ever been installed, so there shouldn't be any files on it to make me do that. So you just kind of go through these menus. It's easy enough. Check my videos. I have one that says safe. Look for the one that says safe mode setup, and that'll be your way to do it. I won't make this video super long just trying to do that. So to not have waste too much of your time, I went ahead and did safe. I'm gonna go ahead and demonstrate this plug can't be on top of your battery because then the lid won't go on. Common sense. All right, get this in. All right, so I have assigned to one of my switches this knob as my gain for AS3X. I'm gonna turn safe off. So this second position is my safe off, right? I'll show you, I'll demonstrate that. I'll turn these gains kind of low. So if I turn my bird this way, I start turning, you see it, it's almost level. It's level, it's gonna stop the bird from flipping over. I release it, the bird's gonna come back and level out. That's safe mode. Turn this on, now I turn this, I got zero things happening with that. But AS3X is still jittering around. So if I go up on this servo, on this surface, I'm gonna turn this all the way up so it's dramatic. So if I go up here, you see it goes up. Now if I go up and stay there, it's gonna go down eventually, watch. See, it just went up enough to stop from a wind mitigation, you know, from wind operating your bird instead. So I'm gonna go up on the tail. You see how dramatic it is? I got it set to 4 times, that way it's dramatic. Now the AS3S Plus has this section in it where you can make it super more dramatic than this, but I just like to put it on this knob, turn it all the way up, and I can always check my stuff on every flight, and I can turn it down to 0, and now AS3X is actually off 100%. I can bump this switch, this knob up slightly like that, and now AS3X on, but it's minimal. So while I'm flying on a windy day, I can pump it up or turn it down. Some people say you can just, you know, set it and let it save the one that you think that's good for the bird all the time, I think that's fine. But on windy days, I tend to like to put a little bit more just to try to stop it. You know, may work or not. You know, maybe once you get in the right spot, that's all you get no matter what. But I feel like on certain days I can pump it up and get a little bit more. On the flip side, sometimes this thing might get hit while it's taking out the box and stuff, and I don't pay attention. I take off a bird and it'll be wobbling like crazy. So I got to hit up and get up here. But I'm so used to it now that I automatically know, like, oh, okay, turn it down. And then I'm good. So that's pretty much the full assembly now. You saw everything set up, including my safes. You know, I didn't show you the numbers on safe, but, you know, I didn't have to go by the numbers because I already have videos on that. So you see how that procedure works. Everything with this plane is so beautiful. It's so nice. I can't wait to get it in the air. I'm going to go ahead and post this build or assembly video. And I'll do the flight separately, just so in case you want to see the first looks at the bird if you're ordering one, or you want to see how it goes together, whatever, until yours come in, whatever that stuff is. There you have it. Right now, I think the kit is really cool. I love the way it looks. I love the body lines. Everything is so awesome about it. I love the fact that they have a little bit of extra little paint job compared to the bigger version. Kind of cool. I love the magnetic front, so you can take this off and store it on this nose without having to worry about messing this up. This is made out of like a harder plastic too, so at least that won't get all messed up on any little situation where you go off the runway or something. I love the landing gear. The fact that they'll squat down and give you a little impact resistance on you know, not perfect landings. Plus we got bumps on our runway. That should help with some of that stuff because we have some bad bumps. I like the push button release of the wing. I wish it was a reciprocal like E-flite does, where you could push that button and release it and pull it off and you don't have any wires to connect. But Motion hadn't really, Freewing hadn't really got there yet with the whole reciprocal built into the wing store. I think that's probably problematic in some situations, but I don't know. Those A10s been having it for a long time, and I never had anybody have an issue with it not working. So I have to say that's a good deal. I can't think of anything I don't like about this bird. You know what I'm saying? I mentioned that stuff, but that's not really true negatives. I think that's kind of just mentions. If I have anything else after the flight and all of that, you know, I may crash it. You never know. It might be a crash on maiden type thing. No telling what's going to happen. I'm going to make sure I check all the surfaces again before I fly. I'll do all that and feel in front of you guys for that video. But for right now, that's how you put it together. That's all the parts and pieces. That's how you do it. That's how you set it up. 100% full. Any questions, get in the comments. Let me know. I'll let you know. As far as CG, I'm going to do that at the field. But with this Spectrum battery in here, I can't even really get on frame because I'm in my workshop. Let's just see. It's actually like super well balanced right now. If anything, the slightest bit of nose. So let's see where I got it at. Yeah, I just got it randomly sitting in there too. So like I can go forward or back. I'm actually back as far as it could go without really interfering with the wires. Let's see if I slide it forward some. Just gonna stress out the wires a little bit in the configuration I got it, but not a big deal. Yeah, slide up to the opening where the wires go down right there. I'm gonna put this lid on just to get us see where we are as far as buoyancy or nose heaviness, because we were somewhat nose heavy, not a lot. Yep, now it's way more nose heavy. So yep, I would say the amount of play you got in there, especially with this battery, which is a 4000. If you had a 5000, you probably could push it all the way back easy. Let's see if I go even with my grip tape. See if I can get a full balanced out bird, because it was nose heavy to start with, so I probably won't get and I shouldn't even add all this to the video, but yeah, that's still a little nose heavy. So you could probably go, since this is not the smallest battery you could use, let me see, I'm gonna go far back as I can go just for the measurements. All right, and then I'm gonna end this video and see you at the field on the next one. Yep, it's still kind of nose heavy, to be honest with you, with the battery pushed all the way back. So flying a heavy battery is probably gonna make you even more nose heavy. Of course, a lighter battery. Oh, my battery moved, so that might be one reason why my CG wasn't perfect. Let me tighten this down and put this wire. I think I'm gonna reroute this wire. This wire could go underneath these wires and go on the side of the battery for install and not get kind of sandwiched like it's getting. Let me get that done right on camera because I'm in the process of doing. So I'm gonna tighten this battery down far back as it goes. All right, like I would for a flight. Plug this in. All right, now it shouldn't move. Let it initiate so I don't aggravate safe. So with the battery pushed all the way back where you see me having it, you are on a 4000. That's where I'm fairly good on CG. Let's see if I can do a little test for you. Everything is in place. The nose cone and everything is on. Get on my CG mark. I'm gonna get on the letters of C and G. And yeah, see, it's actually very well balanced with it pushed back right there. So I'd say that's a good CG. If you have a heavier battery, you're gonna probably have a little issue with that. If you have a lighter battery, you can go further forward and give you more nose heavy. As far as mine, I'll probably mount it right there to the rear. I'll check it at the field another time and make sure I got the gear retracted. The sequencer for the gear, by the way, is under where I had the receiver right there. It's just a little bitty small item that you just kind of can put the receiver on top. It's not going to bother anything. Everything's working good. So my setup is complete. I'll see you at the field.